beginning of this section was really boring. Is it
Yes.
on?
Yes.
Yes, it's on.
Okay, wait. The beginning section is that the where they're at the what part was that?
It's basically after Darcy leaves and Elizabeth is all like, what the heck? And then is just like...
Is the letter in this section too?
Oh, that's right. We didn't do a Socratic seminar last week. So we have like
The letter
everything.
was so boring.
No.
Like it was
not really.
okay. Wait, it wasn't all boring, but like it was cute and like the moment was nice. But
Yeah.
I would hate to read that much.
Chapter 38 was pointless. That's the only thing I gotta say.
Was that the one where it was like transitioning between what Elizabeth was doing and
It
going
was
back home?
like, yeah, it was Elizabeth, like, saying goodbye to Lens and...
Yeah, I thought that was really boring. Because it felt like a montage moment.
It was,
I didn't write any notes in it because I was so bored.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for that one.
it was an awful chapter.
Because it's like, she does this for another 2 weeks, and then she says bye, and then she goes back home.
Yeah.
I did think that the part with, was it Kitty or Lydia? Or was it both of them? And they were like talking her ear off on the way back
Yes.
in the carriage. I thought that was funny. But
I know what you're
reading it, I
Okay.
was like, oh my gosh, I would have been so annoyed.
Lydia is a fool.
Yeah,
A buffoon.
A buffoon.
definitely. She annoys me, and I'm only reading what she's saying.
What chapter did we, is the one that we started on with this section?
We had 10
Yeah, we
chapters
read
to
35, so 35.
Okay, we started 35. Okay.
read. Well, but technically we didn't do a Socratic seminar over spring break, right?
Yeah, but we did.
No, we didn't.
No,
So then it would have been...
all the way back.
No, I guess not. It wouldn't have been. Because we've done 2 Socratic seminars, so that would get us through 34, 35. So yeah. Okay, anyway. So like from 35 to 45 is what we're looking
All right.
at. Yeah. This part was kind of the boring part, I feel like, because we had already gotten to where Darcy proposed, and we all wanted them to be together, and then...
She's like,
Yeah, and then he gave her the letter, and we're still, like, in limbo, leaving off on 45.
Yeah.
Like, feelings are definitely there, but...
But it
Why
is kind
don't
of
it just
picking back
sit?
up. There, like before, it was just she had no. She said that she had no feelings for him at all. But now there's actual romantic tension building up. Like,
That's true.
though after she went to Pemberley and she saw how nice the place was, how much his staff loved him, and then she started having a conversation with him and saw that he was being very gentlemanly, very out of character for him. But it was. Presumably in response to her commentary on it was so insulting when you proposed to me,
Yeah.
not gentlemanly enough. Perhaps if you were gentlemanly, I may have accepted or something like that.
And so now he's like, well, crap, I need to be gentlemanly because I really want this woman.
Yeah.
he's like, noted.
I am very excited to see what happens between them, but I did not like this section at all.
No, neither
It
did
was
I.
relatively slow.
Yes.
What...
Slow burn.
Why won't Elizabeth just, for the protection of her own sister, tell her father how Wickham is?
Good question.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that because she kept trying to hint at it, but she wouldn't really.
She won't tell him.
Yeah, she is
Right.
making very odd decisions regarding not revealing Wickham's true
I
She was
know.
like, she
Anybody?
confronted Wickham, and then Lydia was like, yeah, I want to go to Brighton so I can go see Wickham and everything, and Mr. Bennett's like, it's a good idea. I really just kind of want you out of the house.
Yeah, basically.
and
Yeah.
and Elizabeth's like, no, like something, it's not good, but
Yeah.
I won't tell you why.
You're right. I don't know. Maybe she's trying not to be like
Like her mother.
gossipy. Yeah, that's true.
Keep.
She's not trying to be like her mother.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
she's
gossip
keeping it
and
as
stuff
like
that.
leverage, so that Wickham doesn't do anything stupid or scummy.
I don't know. I think she had a really big connection to Wickham in the beginning. I mean, obviously,
She did.
if he managed to manipulate her like he did.
Mm.
So I think maybe it would be hard to just take Darcy at his word. you know? Like, obviously, you have two people, someone is lying. And so she is now figuring out that Darcy is right, but at the same time, you know, normally the truth is in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I do think it is very, very odd, very strange, regardless of how that may or may not be true, that she isn't trying to protect her family
Yes.
from Wickham.
Right.
So-
Like, even if she had doubts, like, if it was still switched and she still thought that Darcy was a monster, she should.
Should've said something.
Yeah,
She
protect.
definitely said something.
Right, if it was Lydia trying to go to Darcy's.
She was much too subtle about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, why would you let him know that you know about his lies? I feel like that's the last thing you should do, is tell the person that you know about them instead of telling other people who can easily fall for his traps.
Well, but at the same time, too, you don't want to be a gossip. Like, there's a fine line between, hey, I'm trying to protect you, and hey, this is the only thing I've seen from this person. And they made the comment that maybe he was trying to right his wrongs, and that she was just going to let it play out because, you know, from Miss Bingley's sisters, or from Miss Bingley's perspective, Elizabeth was probably a terrible person and, you know, was dirty. And so if she was spreading rumors about Elizabeth, no one would give her a chance. So why should she do that to Wickham?
She'd be no better than the people she despised.
Exactly.
sort of.
But
That's
still,
debatable.
the point about the family, I think, is where that line can be crossed.
Does anyone here think it was needed that we get a little bit of a backstory on Mr. Bennett and Mrs. Bennett?
No.
Another part of it just being another
Yeah.
pointless section in this book.
It was really...
It doesn't
Get
feel
to the
necessary
romance.
yet, but there's a
Yeah.
there's a possibility it might become relevant later.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Or maybe it was just like honestly, it felt like a montage scene. Like I feel like I just read a montage. Like something is switching, you know, it goes through really fast of Elizabeth, you know, going back home, and then all of a sudden she's going to Pemberley, and that's the part that actually matters. So she's back at Pemberley, and everything else before then, I was just kind of like, what is this?
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of like going to Pembroke, are they visiting family at every like place that they've been going to? Like the sister went to Brighton, they went to London, they went to.
I think that was common for the time period. Like, if I go
Yeah.
into town and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm a prestigious person, let me go visit the Kirkendales while I'm in town, you know?
Other
and
prestigious-
you'd, like,
had
go,
an aunt,
you know,
and you
like,
had an uncle here, and you
Exactly.
had a second cousin here who was a lawyer or something.
or just people who, like, business partners, or just the prestigious people in town that, I mean, especially if you're trying to marry off a daughter. So I think that was just common.
They had big houses with rooms.
Yeah, because they weren't going to see family at Pemberley. She was just with her
That's
aunt
what
and
I'm-
uncle, and
That's
they
what
were.
I'm saying. Like it seems like they just have family all across the nation.
No, I think it's just. I mean, it's only in England. Like we're only talking about England, so it's
No
only
small area.
Yeah, but like it was a prestige thing. Like, oh my gosh, you have a big house. They're gonna invite us in to look around. That was common because you wanted to show off your house. You wanted to show off your estate. So
And like the aunt and uncle go a lot of places, I think.
yeah, because they're more
Philip
prestigious than like Mr. and Mrs. Bennett.
They live in London, and they go a lot of places.
I thought they lived up the street.
No, I don't know.
Who's the?
Somebody's in London.
I think they just are visiting London, and that's where Pemberley is. Darcy's estate.
I'm pretty sure Brighton is pretty much London as well. If
Yeah,
I'm
so I was-
correct.
Yeah, so I think it's just like obviously for us it would be like not a very long way, but they're going by carriage,
Yeah.
so that probably makes it seem farther. Like you're not gonna take a 10 or 12 day carriage drive for fun.
Well, I do know that. Just like I'm pretty sure in today's world, Brighton and London are considered basically the same thing.
Okay,
But
so
not 100% sure.
So what you were saying earlier about it being the common thing back then, I was looking for a note about it, and I'm pretty sure, did Miss Gardner explain something how it is because Eliza didn't get out very often, she wouldn't know about this, but she was saying something about how this is what people of, higher class do when they get out. They go and visit other
Yeah.
people of wealth and go see their estates and all that.
I'm pretty sure that she said something
I could not be more wrong.
about that. So
What is it?
are the aunt and uncles that she's with the Gardners?
I
I'm
thought
They're
confused.
Phillips.
Well, the Phillips are the aunt and uncle, but I don't know if those are the... Because the Phillips live up the road. That's the one that Kitty and Lydia go see. But I don't remember... I know she's with an aunt and uncle, but I don't know.
Yeah, she wouldn't just be with strangers going out
Let's see.
to Pemberley.
Bromley. That's what I was thinking of.
Doo-doo-doo. Let's see. I do like, though, that Darcy kind of let he let Elizabeth have her space afterwards. Like, that is very mature of
After
him.
the letter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to push her. He didn't really feel like, you know how some guys are entitled? I mean, not just guys, but some people are entitled and they're like, oh my goodness, why wouldn't this person want me? Like, Darcy understood.
Mr. Collins.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he
like Mr.
did,
Collins.
like Darcy did all he could. He gave the letter. He expressed
Yeah.
all of his feelings and just left it.
Left it, exactly.
Respects the answer she gave.
Yes. So it is the Gardners. And the Gardners are the ones who, it says, those are the people who live up the road, I think. Because it says that, you remember when Collins went and stayed with someone and they showed him the house?
Mm-hmm.
That was the Gardner's estate. So I'm assuming they live up the road. So then I don't know who the Phillips are.
Those are the people in London, I think.
Gentry Phillips?
No. Richard Phillips is on a book.
Name drop.
I think those are the lawyers.
I don't know. Anyway. Oh, also, I did like the part about how Jane came back and she couldn't wait to tell. I mean, how Elizabeth came back and couldn't wait to tell Jane about the letter.
Mhm.
And I was wondering if that mirrored Austen's life with her sisters, because I think she had 4 as well,
Yeah.
or 3.
I thought it was cool. It was like Elizabeth recited a lot of the letter from memory. Like she read over it
Yeah.
all the time.
Mhm.
And that was a long letter too.
Yeah, it was.
And so she read it all the time. And so she knows that letter through and through and knows his
Yeah.
feelings too. And so she's like,
I feel like that's any girl. If you get
Mhm.
a letter or one of those really
like a
long
cute little
texts,
text and
yeah,
you're reading it.
oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Also, I would assume people of this time period have a greater memory retention, because
Probably.
they are forced to hold on to information a lot longer, rather than just scrolling through friggin' TikToks and forgetting them 10
Yeah,
seconds
that's
later.
true.
So yeah, they probably read something and would remember it word for word for a fairly long time.
That does make sense, considering now we just scroll through Instagram or TikTok and we see so many things within
Information
5
overload.
minutes.
Yep.
Nothing pertinent, so it all just kind of floats away.
Very true.
We're all gonna cause everyone to have dementia at the age of 45 in the future.
Probably.
Lydia's getting married at 16. It's weird. But-
Yeah.
but,
It's very weird.
I mean, it's not that weird for then, but
today's world, it's
Yeah,
weird.
I cannot be married. I
Still
cannot
weird.
imagine being married right now.
Like we'd be. Yeah.
It seems so much more transactional than it
Yeah.
should be.
Yes. No, yeah.
Yeah.
There's very little emotion involved at the very beginning. It's always just, you buy me dinner, I'll give you a shot, and
Oh, he has lots of land.
Marriage.
Yeah. Or like, or basically how like back a really long time ago, it was like trade your daughter for sheep. You
Yeah.
know?
What is that called?
Like
and now gold diggers,
Arranged
it's trade your
marriages.
body for
Well,
money.
yeah, but like it's
oh, wasn't that what that was?
yes.
The
Yeah, it's what it
daughters
is.
just trade their.
They're just a bunch of gold diggers.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah, good for her, but like
I can't blame her. Marry rich, you know.
Yeah.
Why would you? If you have to marry someone eventually, why not try to marry rich?
so now she has like now the Bennetts have like 3 possible. Well,
Yeah.
I guess Jane and Bingley.
Well, I hope they get back together.
They've got to get back together.
yeah.
Like there was.
I'm
so
still
much
pulling
there.
for Darcy to do the big gesture.
Yeah.
This is an older book, so maybe they have like a loop around to like a happy ending, you know?
Well, and Bingley obviously still misses Jane because he was
Yeah.
talking about her.
Yeah.
yeah, so there would be kind of an emotional resolution. I feel like that would happen before Elizabeth and Darcy get together, I think.
I don't know.
How old is Kitty? Do we know?
Kitty's the youngest.
Yeah.
So
Should-
15.
15.
I was gonna, or maybe she's 14. Or somewhere in there. I was gonna say. What was I gonna say?
This is what we're talking about with memory retention.
Yeah, for real. I was just thinking about it. I don't know. Obviously, something about the book.
You hear that, Miss Nuri?
Yeah, something about the book.
About the book.
Something happened in it. Elizabeth did some. Darcy did some. Jane did some.
Then there was things that they didn't do.
And then
That
that
they
caused
should've.
that caused tensions for things that didn't happen, and then things where other things happen, and things on things.
This is a grade A level discussion, Miss Nuri. You cannot convince us otherwise.
This is kind of our worst one yet.
Yeah, this is our worst one.
It's
yet.
the worst
It's-
section
it's-
we've
it
read.
is,
It's
yeah,
so
it's
bad.
section.
It's
Boring.
so
It's a
bad.
terrible
There's not
section.
enough like to cover.
There's not enough to talk
10
about.
chapters of transition.
Yeah, basically.
Oh man.
Okay, let's see. I really liked the descriptions of Darcy's estate. Like, if I think about where I would want to live, it would be Kimberly.
Bougie.
Yeah, it was bougie. Like, there was wooded areas where you, like, took walks next to the water. Like, his library is massive. He kept his father's study the way that it was.
That's
Like,
cool.
his, not servants.
You know,
What are they
Pemberley is a
called?
real place, right?
Workers.
Huh? Yeah.
His
work-
Employees.
His employees were so sweet, and we're like, oh my gosh, Mr.
The help.
Darcy is
We
so
love
terrible."
Mr.
Yeah,
Darcy.
The help.
Exactly.
So you know that Pemberley is a real place, right?
I would
I didn't know that,
imagine, alongside
The
you know
Chatsworth
London
House.
and
I wonder
the
if
other
he's,
places
like-
mentioned.
That's gorgeous.
You can scroll through those.
I wonder if he's like, okay,
I
this
wanna
girl's
go
coming
there.
over, and I really like her. I need y'all to hype me up
I don't
here.
think he knew.
Oh, I mean,
Visiting Pemberley.
I think it was very much by coincidence because of the reaction that both Darcy and Elizabeth had when they kind of
What?
met.
There's a horror movie
Let me see.
called Death Comes to Pemberley. What is
me see.
this? Maybe it's not a horror movie.
Death
but
comes
it-
to Pemberley. Darcy's
I just
had
found
enough.
It. Just found it scrolling through the pictures of the estate.
Yeah, that's definitely not a horror movie.
Well, I thought it was. Death Comes to Pemberley.
Death comes to.
Maybe it's just a murder mystery.
It's probably actually like a
Daytime
Pride and
British
Prejudice
TV.
thing.
Probably.
Like that's Darcy and Elizabeth.
Yeah, could be. Maybe it's the parody.
The
That would be
spoof.
funny.
That would be funny.
Okay, what else? I
Yeah,
really
boring.
didn't like this section.
Another
No,
major
it was
talking
awful.
point. Come on, there's got to be more somewhere.
Oh, I loved this line. I bookmarked it. Okay. At last, it arrested her, and she beheld a striking resemblance of Mr. Darcy, with such a smile over the face as she remembered to have sometimes seen when he looked at her. I was like, oh, that's so
cute.
sweet.
It's like when. That's just so cute.
I know,
Like when a guy
aw.
smiles at you and like you're like,
Yes.
and you're trying to hide it kind of, and you're like,
Yes, exactly.
that's
I
so
love
cute. That is adorable.
Oh, also, I wrote in here, why are soldiers being quartered? Like, what are we in the middle of where they're being quartered where Lizzie lives?
Regency era.
Lion
What happened?
Park is what it is called. In
That's what
real
I was
life.
wondering. Like in the houses.
Yeah.
It's like in Downtown Abbey when there was like war. But
Yeah.
are we in the middle of war here?
Yeah, because it's not telling us about
'Cause-
it.
Yeah. No, I when we first started talking about the soldiers, I thought that was weird. I
Yeah.
was like, wait.
Well, I don't know anything like historical, but I do know, like in war based, but I do know that this was the Regency era.
Right.
So there was probably a lot of political instability. So I mean, I could assume that there might be like rebellions and revolutions and violent outbursts that have to be quelled by the soldiers. I would assume something like that.
I guess that's true. I don't know, maybe we need to do more research into that before we have the next Socratic seminar.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm scrolling through the pictures of Lime Park, which is Pemberley.
Huh?
Place is creepy.
What does it look like?
It's just dark.
Oh, well, it's old.
Yeah.
It is.
So that makes sense.
Oh, and the Death Comes to Pemberley is a parody because,
That's wonderful.
you know, like Pemberley is not it's a fictional place based
Right.
off of a real location.
That makes sense. I bet that's funny. We should watch that.
Death
We'll
Comes
watch
to
the movie,
Pemberley.
like,
Yeah, I need to watch the movie too because I've never seen it.
I've seen bits and pieces, but
Is it prediction time yet?
Oh, there's only one.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
only one season.
Also,
one
I was-
season of Death Comes to Pemberley. And it was in 2013.
It was a show.
it's
was
probably
in-
like horrible.
Yeah, it was in
Probably.
2013.
Horrible.
It has an 82% Rotten Tomatoes. That's not bad.
That's
Yeah,
not bad,
it's not.
actually.
New project idea, Miss Nuri.
Let us watch Death Comes into Pemberley.
Yes.
Or to Pemberley.
Oh yeah. Also, one last thing before we start predictions, I was just trying to mention that. I mean, we probably already covered this in some way, but when Elizabeth and Darcy first met, I just thought it was. I didn't really expect it, but she kind of had this uncontrollable blushing.
That's true.
Which I didn't really expect. I mean, she did seem to have like a lighter view on him after seeing the estate and how his workers and everything really thought about him.
That sounded terrible the way you put it.
What do you mean?
She had a lighter way of thinking about him after she saw his estate.
And-
I know what you
Totally
meant, but I just thought that was funny.
I mean, after seeing,
Like, dang, all right.
there's
I
literally a
don't blame
quote
the
in the
girl.
book saying that this place paints him in a very
Yes.
nice light or something
I
like
just thought that
that.
was funny.
But it seemed like a more major shift than I expected to when they first met for her to just like blush like crazy.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's been a lot of things to lead up to this blushing, so
yeah, I mean, maybe she was like repressing some other thoughts or emotions or something like that. Don't laugh. Okay, be mature.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I wouldn't have if Hannah didn't laugh. I wouldn't have laughed. But-
I just knew exactly where your brain was, and I was like, oh.
keep going.
I feel like her
Keep going. Sorry.
like her earlier opinions of him just had
Melted away.
She needed to convince herself. Like her earlier opinions were so bad of him that she had to convince herself that he was a bad person, despite how she might have already felt. So
That's true.
maybe now that these things that kept her from liking him at all are kind of being disproven, being disproven and kind of just washed under the rug, she is swept under the rug. My bad, misused the phrase.
It's
But
okay.
I think now that that stuff's going away, she is starting to, lighten up on her earlier, like, misconceptions of him, and now she's starting to realize that how she actually feels.
Yeah.
I just have a really bold prediction here.
Yay.
Do you still think Mr. Bennett's gonna die?
Yes. But
That seems out of place.
this is
but
the
keep going.
boldest prediction I've ever made. Darcy and Elizabeth end up together.
Whoa, really?
No way.
I know that's a tough one.
I flipped to the last page just to read it because I
What is
don't
it?
like cliffhangers, so I'm not gonna
Well,
comment.
I don't think it's really much of a cliffhanger because you already know that.
Oh
they're
yeah,
gonna
no,
be,
definitely not.
like you know they're gonna be together.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Why
a
would
whole-
I read?
there's
Why
a-
would people read this book?
There is a show
Like, you know
at the
exactly.
when I was reading the thing on it.
No, they just
Sensing something is wrong, Fitzwilliam Darcy, the family's patriarch, begins to retreat from wife Elizabeth as he tries to protect the household from a scandal.
Well,
Looks like they're splitting up, anyways.
no, it just pulls a road one. Everybody dies.
I would hate that.
okay.
I was so mad
So
at Rogue One.
predictions.
Predictions. Obviously, Darcy and
I already
Elizabeth
gave
are
mine.
gonna get
Yeah.
together,
I already
but
Yeah.
gave my bold one.
I hope that Mr. Darcy proposes again, and then
And she's
Elizabeth is like,
Yes.
yes, oh my
course.
goodness.
Okay, but we talking like
I'm so
Proposes at
excited
Pemberley?
the first time.
Probably, yeah.
I think
Like,
it-
oh,
yes,
like,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
by the
yes.
water,
Yes, by
in
the water, by
woods.
the trees. and-
Yeah.
Then again,
Yes.
as I did say earlier, I feel like
It'd be
the
so
ball
pretty.
is kind of in Elizabeth's court now, because she already kind of gave him a
hold
definite
on.
answer, and
Hold on.
Darcy's
Don't
kind of
look it up.
already
Don't
responded.
look it up.
I'm not looking it
What are you
up.
doing?
Just
You're looking
part of
something
that
up?
part of that little description from that show.
No,
Tell us.
don't. I don't want to know.
Okay, no, but I
Okay.
think it's gonna be like, yes, the ball is in her court, but she's
Yeah.
also like gonna be dropping hints when he's like, oh, she does want me.
Maybe they'll kiss or
guess.
something.
Well, I
Is that
think
because
frowned
we're-
upon before they're married?
no.
Because we
I don't
were
think so.
talking about
Okay.
how Darcy
That's
was like
like-
really accepting of her feelings and her answer, to his proposal, and was kind of just leaving her be, even though he does.
Well,
still
I
have
think that
feelings.
she'll start moving back towards him like we already see her doing, and then
Yeah.
they'll eventually, like, I don't know, maybe it'll be like one of those moments where she like grabs his hand or something and they hold hands.
Oh yeah, forgot about that
You know?
part. We know that part happens.
Okay, so
Shush, Kaden.
so
no, she told us that a while
I got
back.
a
Yeah,
question
true.
for
It's
y'all.
like, it's just like a moment, and then, because it's like, Darcy flexes his hand. He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a
and
question. So, do you think it's gonna come to like
I know what's gonna
a
happen.
romantic like resolution as like the proposal? Like Darcy's gonna propose, and then that's gonna be the
No.
big point of the story,
No.
or is like their emotions gonna?
They're gonna.
Be
I
revealed
think Jane
before the
Austen
proposal.
is gonna go on to give us some aftermath after they're together,
After the wedding?
No, but like I meant
after
like,
the wedding or after they move in together, whatever that is.
my question was more like, do you think that the proposal is gonna be the signifier? Like, oh yeah, they're together now. They mutual feelings for each other, and they understand that, or are they
Probably.
gonna have a moment before a proposal?
I feel like they're gonna admit their feelings and like say it. It's like say everything.
Yes,
Even
but
though,
then
like,
I
Darcy
think
said
that'll lead
everything-
to a proposal.
Yes, I think like Elizabeth will like express her feelings, and then Darcy will.
Or maybe it won't even be a real proposal. Like, obviously proposals are normally planned in advance.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll just be like them talking, and then at the end they're like, well, want to
Well,
get married
we know
then?
each
I
other.
guess,
Are
yeah.
Are we talking like real British romantics where it's like a random proposal in the middle of a rain?
It'd be so pretty.
That
Like
would be
that
such
movie.
a good movie scene, like in
See,
the rain.
I honestly hate those
How
because I
many
sit
of
there
them
watching. I'm like,
Are around that.
man, all those good clothes just going
Yeah.
to ruin
Or like the
right
hate
there.
to
All
love.
like it's crazy
Yeah,
how her
I hate you,
makeup is
but I
staying
can't stop
perfectly
loving
still
you.
Yes.
in this
That.
rain.
I think she's gonna be like, you make me so mad, but I love you.
Or how her makeup is conveniently off for the rain to where nothing is just pouring down her face right now, like it's Halloween.
Yeah, that's funny.
Any other predictions?
I still don't think Mr. Bennett will die.
He dies.
I retract
I wonder if we get a
my
flash
comment. I don't
forward
think
at the end of the book,
so. I
like
think we'll get a little bit.
like after the whole story's been like resolved and everything.
Pride and Prejudice Part 2.
I'm sure there are so many fan fictions you could read if you really wanted
Oh, yeah.
Pride and Prejudice Part
But
2.
I was just talking
There's
about
definitely some.
maybe the last chapter or the last few pages.
Darcy and Bingsley fan fiction on
Oh no.
like Wattpad. I would believe that.
Guys, I was just referring to that thing that stories will do sometimes where they flash
Yeah,
forward
I think that will
years
happen.
later
Like in the
and show their family or
what's
something.
that called? The
And their kids and all
yes,
that.
in the epilogue.
Epilogue, yeah.
Prologue. Epilogue?
Prologue's the beginning.
That's what I thought. Epilogue.
How many pictures does it take until Mr. Darcy gets sexualized?
What?
What'd you look up?
His name.
We don't even have.
Oh,
we don't know
you're
what
playing
Darcy
that
looks
game.
Like,
Yeah.
really. I mean, dark hair, tall.
There's so many movie pictures though that it's
Dark,
actually taking quite a while.
mysterious. Yes, dark, handsome, and mysterious.
Okay, we have hit 30.
Yeah.
Are we cutting it off there?
I think that's
No,
as
we're
much
going
as
for
we
an
can talk
hour.
about.
That's as much as we can talk about right
We're
now.
going for an hour on this
Especially on
pointless
this
chapter.
Yeah,
chapters.
this section was really bad.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
All right, cut.